Hello everybody, today I'm doing a quick video on how to fix a puncture. We all know when we're rolling along and we hear that horrible sound, look down and our tyre's flat, it's not a nice feeling. But if you head out confident and knowing what you're doing, then that feeling is alleviated a little bit because you know that you can fix it. So I definitely recommend make sure that you try fixing your puncture at home first so that you know what you're doing out on the road, because the worst thing ever is to head out not knowing what you're doing, all the gear, no idea, and you're stuck in the middle of nowhere having to call someone to come and pick you up, which I have done in the past. But I've been practicing a lot, I feel confident with it now, and I've had a few punctures on my own and been absolutely fine fixing them. So hopefully this video will help you. Now the things that you need to have with you on all rides is spare inner tubes. I've not actually got a puncture, so I'm just going to take the inner tube out and put the same one back in again. A pump, and then I find it really useful to have a tyre glider that helps me just make it a lot easier to change a puncture. Some people use levers, some people can do it with their hands. Now I cannot do that, but if you can, hats off to you. Anyway, first step is when you've got your puncture, you need to let out all of the air, because not all the air might go out straight away. So just unscrew the valve, this bit here, unscrew it and just press it in, let all the air out. Whew. Might take a while with mine. So step one, let the air out. Step two is to get the inner tube out. Now this can be a bit tricky, but what you need to do is push the tyre into the middle bit of the rim. Now in the middle of the rim there'll be a little bit of an indent. You want to get the tyre, both sides of the tyre, push with your fingers and get it into the indent. I've not let all the air out there. So yeah, just push around with your fingers. Now it might be quite tricky, but do one side first. As you can see, it's going in there. And just go all the way around, pushing it in. Do a little dance if you want at the same time. Just make sure both sides are into the middle. That just gives you a little bit more flex, and it's going to be easier to get the tyre off. Now the thing you definitely don't want to do is panic, because you might start panicking thinking I can't do this on my own, but just stay calm, believe in yourself. If you practice at home, you can definitely do it out on the road. Doesn't matter how long it takes you, just stay calm, because I've been in situations where I think, oh no, I'm not going to be able to do it. Get all stressed, and you're not going to fix it when you're stressed. So it can be quite hard to get the tyre off the rim. What you need to do, once you've got it all in the middle, the next thing we're going to do is take the inner tube out. It can be quite difficult to get the tyre off the wheel, so just make sure that you've got a tyre that is fits quite well with your wheel. Sometimes they can be so tight and it's impossible to get them off. I've had situations where I know what to do, but I'm just not strong enough to get the tyre off. So try and find a tyre that works well for you. I use the Panaracer Duros. I find them really easy to get off and on, so they work for me. Anyway, you get your tyre glider. I really do recommend these. This is not an ad. I got this myself and it's just helped me so much to feel more confident and make it easier. So I always start opposite the valve, and the tyre glider, check you can see me, yes you can. With your tyre glider, you hook it underneath one side. Now it's easier to have the wheel resting on the floor. Just put you down a bit so you can see me. Hang on a minute. There we go. Sorry about the mess down there. It's easier to have the wheel on the floor, hook the tyre glider underneath one side of the tyre. She says it's easy and she can't do it. There we go. And then you just push down. Don't be scared, push hard, and then it comes off. As you can see, that was quite easy. So then you've got half off. You can just run around with your fingers then, and half of your tyre is off. You can use a tyre glider again if you want, so you don't have to get your fingers in there. Push all the way around, and then you've got half off. Then what you need to do is take your inner tube out of your tyre. So go to where the valve is, pull it up, and then pull it out. Now you've got your inner tube there. Now you've got two options. You can either fix your inner tube that you've got with a puncture repair kit, or you can put a new inner tube in. I normally put a new inner tube in just for the quickness of it, and then I'll fix my punctured one when I get home so that I'm not wasting it. You've done your first two steps, which is deflate the tyre, get the inner tube out. Step number 3 is to check for where the puncture is, because the last thing you want to do is just put a new inner tube in, start rolling again. The thorn or whatever it is that's caused the puncture is still in your tyre, and then you just get another puncture straight away. So be really careful, because if it's something sharp, you don't want to cut your fingers on it. So just have a look round, see what you can see. Go all the way around your whole tyre and you will be able to hopefully find what it is. Now you can look on the outside as well as looking on the inside, and it's normally a little thorn or a piece of metal, something on the road that's punctured you. So always as well have with you, I didn't mention at the start, a pair of tweezers, then you can pull out the thorn. If you don't have tweezers, it can be really difficult to get it out, and then you do start getting annoyed at yourself when you can't pull it out with your nails. So yeah, tweezers, and just be careful if it's something sharp. So let's say you've found it, you've got it out, so now you need to put a new inner tube in. Now what you need to do, get your new inner tube, let's pretend this is a brand new one, and you want to put a little bit of air into your inner tube, just so it makes it a bit easier to put it back in, and it also makes sure you're not going to pinch it when you put it back in. So you put a little bit of air in, you only need to put a little bit, just a little bit like that. Fasten your valve back so that the air doesn't all come back out again. Now we're going to put the inner tube back in again, so find where your hole is. Where is it? Oh, the neck. What have we done with the hole? Here it is. Oh, right here. So find where your hole is, put it back in. I like to call it the blowhole, I don't know why. Put it in there because it reminds me of a whale. Now what we're going to do is just put the inner tube underneath where the overlap of the tyre is. Now this is where we don't want to pinch the inner tube, but we just thread it round like this. And just push it in. Now it might feel like it's scrunching up a little bit, but just try and make sure that it's not twisting at all when you're putting it in. And then the next thing is to put the tyre back on and then pump the bad boy up. So to put the tyre back on, I start opposite the valve, and I start off by just pushing it with my fingers. But the first thing to do to make it easier is make sure that the side of the tyre that is still on, push that into your middle again. And it just makes it a little bit easier. So push it all into the middle first, go round, and then with your fingers opposite the valve, just start pushing in this side that needs to go back on. So go round with your fingers. Now some people can get it straight on with just using their hands. I've never been able to do that. I'm just not strong enough. So I use a tyre glider, but we'll get as far as we can with just using our hands. And then you'll come to a tight bit. Now this is where it can get hard. This is where we can start to have a meltdown, start to think we can't do it, start to think we need a taxi. It has reduced me to tears before, but you can do it, so just believe in yourself, and like I say, practice at home. So the final step is you gotta use this. Well, you don't have to, but I find it really helpful, and it's really easy because it just hooks on to your tyre. I'm going to go down here again. Hooks onto your tyre, I'll pull you down as well so you can see me. It's like a little bit like this. So when you're getting the tyre off, you use that bit, hook it under and pull. When you're putting the tyre back on, this bit goes around your wheel onto your rim, and you just push and it pushes on, she says. Now let's hope it actually works, because otherwise that would be a bit embarrassing. So yeah, hook it on, and then I'm just going to push with all my force. Push, push, push. And again. Now this is where it gets, so when you get to a bit like this, you can see it's really tight now, so it's quite tricky. So just make sure it's all in the middle again, and you're going to have to push hard and believe in yourself. Push. And again, nearly there we go. And it's on. So now you're on, you're almost ready to roll again, but you can't roll on a flat, so we're going to pump it up and then we'll be good to go. So undo your valve, put your pump on. Now this, I'm not sure what pump this is. I'm going to ask Kyle and I'm going to write it here, because this pump is so good. It's small, it's compact, and it's easy to use, and it can pump up your tyre hard, so it's really good. So you just put it on, and then you're just going to pump it up. And then you'll be on your way again and good to go. I'm actually going to be now changing my tyres, because these tyres are pretty worn down. So I've got a fresh new pair to put on, so I'm going to go and do that now. But yeah, just pump your tyre up as hard as you can get it with your little mini pump. You normally can't get it as hard as what you get it with a track pump, and then when you get home you can pump it up to what you need it for your next ride. But as long as you've got it up enough to get you home Some little mini tubes, I can take this off in a minute, have a pressure gauge on them so you can see what PSI you pump them up to. Mine doesn't, so I just normally pump them up as hard as I can get because that's normally quite a low pressure anyway. But yeah, hopefully that's been helpful. Practice at home and don't feel scared about punctures, because once you know how to do it, it's easy peasy and you won't be worried about it anymore. So yeah, hope that's been helpful and thanks for watching.